Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting. We're building bridges and changing lives, one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dyes. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Our show today is A Woman's Prerogative in partnership with E360 TV. Today's topic, I'm looking forward to exploring this topic with our wonderful full-time panelist, Reverend Lydia Fougeres. Our topic today is choosing yourself, the empowering act of saying no. I'm Caroline Heward, and I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert. I'm thrilled and honoured to be representing Dr. Jacqueline as your host for USA Global TV and Radio's flagship show, A Woman's Prerogative. I'm a TV presenter and the resident therapist for USA Global TV and Radio. A very warm welcome to all of our loyal viewers and our friends at E360 TV. Hello to all of our friends on our usual social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and X. Dr. Jacqueline, our founder and president of USA Global TV, has been awarded the YouTube Silver Creator Award, achieving over 100,000 YouTube subscribers. We have over 106,000 YouTube subscribers on our main channel, USA Global TV and Radio, and our second channel, we have over 35,000 subscribers. Thank you to all of our subscribers. We value your commitment to showing up and being part of the channel. I am joined today by the wonderful Reverend Lydia Fougeres. She is from Canada and she is an amazing lady. She's also hosting her own show in French and she is a country partner. There's like so many strings to this lady's bow, more than I think that I know that she's actually doing. She is our full-time panelist, Reverend Lydia Fougeres. She's a TV presenter and host of her own show. She's an author of Bilingual Self-Help. She's a registered nurse. She's a holistic nurse and an intuitive spiritual healer. She invented Miracle Mist, which is patent pending, and she's an advocate for free rights. Please welcome our wonderful full-time panelist, Reverend Lydia Fougeres.
Hello.
Hello.
It's nice to be with you.
It's always good to be with you, Reverend Lydia, because you have such incredible and insightful shares. And I'm looking forward to this show because I know that we're both excited about this show and what might unravel. Please do share with our viewers a little bit about what you do and the kind of work that you do and who you help.
Well, I am a reverend to start with. I am an intuitive healer. I am an author. I work with my books. Those are self-help books. They actually are there because people come with programs because they have trouble in life, and I help them. I help with immigrants also to adjust to Canadian life. So that is pretty much what I do. So my ministry is about helping others and with my programs that are part of my books. So, and 111 Reflection for Thy Earth Odyssey sold on Amazon. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Lydia. And for myself, I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert, and I help people best their stress. How do I do that? I work with root cause therapy and chakra psychology, identifying the root cause in the blueprint of the person. So it might be that they're complaining about a physical, emotional, behavioral issue now that is actually in their blueprint from perhaps going back to childhood. And I break through and identify the root cause of their stress, the way that it manifests in their life, which releases the emotions and gives them a state of inner peace. I'm also a speaker, and I also do lunch and learn events online and in person. And I am also a expert presenter on the channel, and I present once a month on the expert panel of Talking Heads. And I have my own show once a month at the end of the month on a Thursday. So let's begin. Choosing yourself, the empowering act of saying no. And I just want to reflect, why is it so hard? Because when we say, to really say and actually mean it, and what we're going to do tonight is we're going to dive in and see how the emotional power behind setting boundaries, overcoming guilt, and the people-pleasing cycle. Are you overcoming your own obligations? Do you struggle with guilt when you say no? What are you really saying when you're saying no? It affects your well-being. Saying no is a powerful act which results in self-respect. It's the hardest thing to do, and yet we don't want to let people down because we fear guilt. We need approval. We're saying yes, but really we're probably wanting to say no. Tonight we'll explore the emotional, psychological, and the social reasons behind the struggle of saying no. Learning how to say no because it empowers you. So, Reverend Lydia, why is it so hard to say no? In your own experience and from your client's perspective, do you think it's social conditioning, guilt, fear of conflict? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, we want to be people pleaser. So saying no looks bad to us. But as I was writing on my Facebook page last week, I wrote, no is a complete sentence. So when we say no, we do not need to give an explanation. It is no, that is all. We give explanations if we feel like it, and we do not have to feel guilty. We have our own reasons, and we do not always have to justify them. So no is self-respect to me, and we should all learn to say no.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. Thank you, Reverend Lydia. It's such a delight to hear that. And I struggled with saying no for a very long time. And it was that I was seeking that approval through people pleasing. I was very much in that space of people pleasing. And I never said no. And I was usually inundated with all sorts of things. And even when I was working in corporate, I felt like I learnt to live with, I was the willing workhorse, and I worked until I didn't have any space for myself. And I really was the willing workhorse. And it was always from corporate, I would say, ask a person that's busy because they're going to get the job done. And I was that person, and I found it very difficult to say no. I've learned along the way to be better at saying no. I feel that, from that perspective, I was really looking for approval. What are your thoughts about the fact that I was looking for approval, and yet I got it, not quite in the way that I wanted it to be?
Well, looking for approval is a form of not really loving oneself. You wanted others to love you by doing all kinds of things for others, your love for yourself was not sufficient. You needed approval by saying yes to everything. And the thing is that someone that always says yes, they become exhausted, they become short-tempered, and they, instead of being loved a lot more, they are put aside because they're too busy, they are short-tempered because they're too busy. So saying no actually is a present that you do to yourself because you are more loved, because you show self-respect to yourself. They know your limits, they know your boundaries, and saying no actually is attractive to people when you know how to say no. And you know how to say no now, which is the most important thing.
I'm so inclined to agree with you, Reverend Lydia, that when I was much younger, I was always seeking that approval and wanting to be congratulated because I did a good job. And now I feel that even though sometimes it's difficult to say no because it's a great opportunity or it's something that that will be good for me, when I'm saying yes to everything, I actually feel that I'm losing sight of what could be possible if I say yes to myself. So while I'm saying no externally, yes externally, I'm in the same breath saying no to myself. And that has created in the past, and I know many people that have suffered this physical or emotional burnout. And I can honestly say that I've had clients that have resented saying yes, and there's almost like a feeling of I didn't trust myself to say no, so I said yes, and now I'm struggling to complete what I need to complete. And the calendar full thing is a huge red flag in terms of when your calendar's full and there's no space for you. That's the red flag that you've overcommitted by saying yes to too many people. What are your thoughts about that red flag, Reverend Lydia?
That red flag to me is like a pie. What I do is that I take a piece of paper and I separate it like a pie. And what I do is that for the person to understand that they all are always saying yes, I say, this is the part that you use actually for your family, for your business, for this, for that. And then I slice it, and the amount that is left for them is in the pie. So sometimes there is only 3% left for them. So I ask them, saying yes, is that sufficient for you? There is 3% of your time enough. So that means it is time to learn to say no.
So, Reverend Lydia, I'm in total agreement with you. And at the same time, we can be caught up, can't we? We can be caught up in the dizziness of saying yes, in the fact that there's glorification in saying yes and being accepted. And even though we've found ways of handling this, there are many people that are watching the show that may not have found ways of handling saying no when you're really saying yes to yourself. And I love the fact that you've said that you posted that yes is no is a complete sentence. The amount of times that people, they say, no, I can't do this because. And this is where I feel that there's a justification, a presentation of, please don't feel that I'm rejecting you. This is because this, and this. And I feel that they fear rejection by saying no. So then there is this explanation that you mentioned earlier on. And so what role do you think that guilt plays in the decision making of saying no so that you can say yes to yourself? Do you think it's this guilt is a signal of wrongdoing, or do you think it's about internal boundaries?
Guilt is internal boundaries. We do not have enough boundaries. When we feel guilty for everything, it is because we want to please everyone. But when we want to please everyone, we have to ask ourselves, do I please myself also? If your answer is no, well, you have to answer no to the other person, because the thing is that you do not have enough time. And when I say you, I do not mean you. I mean everyone, everyone that is concerned. So when the person feels guilty, they should actually think, am I guilty? Yes. Do I feel guilty of saying yes? Well, if you feel guilty of saying yes, the answer is no. As easy as that.
It's really strange, isn't it? It's such a little word. It's a teeny weeny word. It's 2 letters. And yet it's so hard for so many people. And we're conversing over this today. And we're looking at, this is really easy. But why is it so difficult? Because that guilt, I feel, gets internalized. Certainly as a people pleaser and an approval seeker myself, especially in corporate, I feel that that guilt was internalized. And it was all about, for me, expectations that were not about me, they were about what other people placed on me. And I felt that if I didn't meet their expectations, that I was actually harming myself within the environment of being seen and having that space of being promoted and looking for promotional opportunities. And so from that perspective, I feel that that guilt is very real for many people, that they're afraid to say no because of what somebody might say and how they're viewed. Because people don't tend to say what they think because it's internalized. What are your thoughts about that, Reverend Lydia, in terms of that making harm, creating a guilt experience because you feel that you're creating harm for yourself?
Well, you're creating harm for yourself. Yes, you are creating harm for yourself if you keep on saying yes, because the thing is that you do not respect your divine source inside. That is, you are creating harm to yourself. But as suggested by our wonderful Dr. Jacqueline, some people do not take no. They push and they push and they push. Well, do you know what I do when people push like that? I say, I just said no, and no to me is not a definite maybe. It is a no. That is the way I answer. I stop the conversation right then and now. That is the way I am. But I went to therapy 40 years ago for that, because I'm the eldest of the daughters in my family, and usually the oldest daughter always does everything for the rest of the family. So I was the yes daughter, and I became the no daughter.
So whoa, we're really we are really pushing the boundaries here. Whoa. Do you know, we are just at the point of our commercial break. If you have joined us just now, or you're watching the replay, please come back. We're going to break for a short break where we've been exploring choosing yourself, the empowering act of saying no. And we have been sharing some really damning things about why we don't choose ourselves and why the empowering act of saying no isn't used until we've done some training or therapy on ourselves. We even got some wonderful shares from Dr. Jacqueline. Just over a short break, come back. We look forward to seeing you after this short break. Bye-bye for now.
What if one simple skill could change the way you connect with the world? What if listening could open doors to deeper relationships, stronger businesses, and a better you? Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the Listening Mentor, brings you USA Global TV and Radio, a space where voices are heard, ideas are shared, and global communities thrive. Through the elevated listeners' courses and books, you'll master the power of listening, set boundaries with confidence, and transform conversations into opportunities. Join us. Listen, learn, elevate. Whether you're a leader, a coach, a business owner, or someone seeking stronger connections, your journey starts today. Subscribe, learn, and transform today.
Hello and welcome back to USA Global TV and Radio. Our show today is A Woman's Prerogative in partnership with E360 TV. If you're here on the live or joining us on the replay, we have been really thrashing out some cool rationale and some really interesting perspectives and insights about choosing yourself, the empowering act of saying no. I am joined with our wonderful full-time panelists, Reverend Lydia Fougeres from Canada. Please come back in and let's continue this exploration, because it's exciting, isn't it, to really look at why. It's not about saying no and it's not about saying yes, it's about what it does to us. The effect of continually saying yes, how it's difficult. And Dr. Jacqueline shared behind the scenes, our executive producer and president of the channel, she shared that she was even pushed today to say yes when she was saying no, because some people don't want to take no for an answer. And I have been in that position where they don't take no for an answer. And then when they don't, one of you backs down, and it's usually the person that's controlling the conversation and controlling the outcome. So does people pleasing and that need for approval, does it shape our choices? Because this is something that's coming up even now, because when we're saying yes to someone, we're also saying no to ourselves. So that should be, I feel, on the surface of it and the depth of it, that it will shape our choices. If we're saying yes to everything, we're actually saying no to ourselves. So saying yes can almost become a way of avoiding rejection or judgment. What are your thoughts, Reverend Lydia?
Well, yes, we are denying ourselves, but I would suggest something. Back in the days, when you wanted to practice to say no, you would ask for someone that actually sells vacuum cleaners to come to your place. Those were the toughest people to say no to. So find someone that is extremely difficult to say no to and practice and say no to that person. And after several attempts, if you succeed, you will succeed all the time. Because as assistant head nurse, I had to choose. I had to take decisions. I had to say no. And saying no was the thing that was difficult, because sometimes you have to see many people. Everyone wants something. They want your time. They want your attention. They want you to do something for them. You've got 40 people waiting for you. But the thing is that there is 24 hours in a day, and you have to understand that you need your peace of mind. You need to be fine with yourself, and you need to respect the divine source into you. So saying no is a form of respect that you have to you.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. People pleasing, it's a big deal. And it almost feels, if we really look at it, it feels like control disguised as kindness. We do it to be liked, and often it backfires. Saying yes keeps us safe and avoids confrontation. But disappointing others slowly erodes our own identity. What are your thoughts about slowly eroding your own identity by being the yes person? And the thing that comes to mind is that there is a saying, he's a yes man or she's a yes girl. And it does go on, especially in corporate, and especially when somebody's very good at taking the lead and taking control. And what are your thoughts about in terms of how it erodes our own identity?
It does, because the thing is that the person that is always saying yes has a price to pay. Most of the time, they will lose their family. They will lose the ones that they love because they have so much to do that they have to neglect. So there is a price to say to being a yes man, yes woman. There is a very serious price to pay. So we have to evaluate, do I want to be a yes person and lose what I love? Or do I want to be a no person and keep what I have worked for in my life? Because you have to decide, is it my family that matters or my co-workers that matter? You have to choose.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. Always insightful. And I know this is a tough subject for us because we've been people pleasers. I certainly would put myself in that position, especially when I was in corporate, because I just was that willing horse, the workhorse, and that's what we were known for. But, it's all about boundaries. I'm kind of getting round this subject, and it's really about boundaries in terms of, can we set healthy boundaries without feeling that we're being selfish? And what language or strategies can we use that might help in setting those healthy boundaries? What does it look or sound like? And can we say no kindly but firmly? Here's a barrage of questions for you, Reverend Lydia. What are your thoughts about boundary setting and making sure that there are good strategies in place? What have you used?
Well, logic. We use logic. That is all. We can do it. We do it. We cannot do it. We do not do it. We have to measure. Is it difficult for me to do it? Is it possible for me to do it? Is it good for my surrounding? Can someone else do it that will have more time than us? If the answer is that someone else can do it, no one is irreplaceable. So we have to understand that, no one is actually necessary. If we die tomorrow morning, they will replace us. We have to understand that. So we have to make sure that we say no or we say yes. The answer has to be, we have to understand that if we say yes or if we say no, we have the right reasons for it. And we are happy in our decision, because at the end of the day, it's our happiness. We have to be happy with the decision we took. Yes or no, we have to be happy. I do not know what you think about it, Caroline.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And I find that sometimes I'm very split between, we've been talking a lot about business, but I feel that sometimes I can be very split between personal, family, personal relationships and business. And sometimes I certainly have had my mum saying to me over the years when I was in corporate, many, many times she would say, they'll just replace you. You're just a number. They won't think anything about you when you're gone, when you've worked yourself to death. And I would just say, oh, don't be silly, Mum. I'm irreplaceable. And yet my mum always spoke those wise words, and I was replaceable. I was somebody that somebody else could step into those shoes and do something different. I was just a number. It was a large organization, a large company, and I have changed because of that, and because I really did think that the buck stopped with me, and it didn't. And I would work till really late in the night to get everything done. But the more I did, the more that was expected of me. And so I do feel that one of the things that I've learned to say, because when it affects my personal life, then I have to make some tough decisions, is I'd love to help, but right now I'm at capacity. or this is a great idea, I would love to get involved, just now is not the right time. And it might be for all sorts of reasons, but we have to feel comfortable and confident to say, this is a good idea, I'd love to be part of this, now is not the right time. And take some self-respect about not feeling that you have to give the other person a huge explanation or justification. I'm very guilty of explaining myself away because I don't want to offend somebody, and I feel that there are so many opportunities that we can miss something just because we've taken another opportunity. But this is about being honest and respectful when we say, I'm at capacity right now. What are your thoughts about that, Reverend Lydia?
I think you have it. You have it. You say the right things and you can do it. You have learned to do it because you learned the hard way, Caroline. And that is the way it is. Yes, you paid the price to learn. So that's called wisdom.
Do you know what? I so agree with you. Wisdom. I really, truly believe that we are here to learn. And when we keep doing or making the same mistake over and over again, we don't get the wisdom from it. I've learned so much wisdom that I don't always get that repeat. And when we are feeling uncomfortable and we're backed into a corner with, you have to do this, I can't do this without you, I really need you. When we're pushed, and some people can be very pushy bosses, some people can be very pushy managers or very pushy friends. And it's about, is the push right for you at that time? Or is it not right for you? I do firmly believe that setting those kinds of boundaries will gain a mutual respect of each other. And it also moves that relationship, whether it's personal, whether it's an intimate relationship or a business relationship, or it's a colleague. I do trust that. I feel that that honesty will make the relationship much kinder and in a much more authentic way. What are your thoughts about that, Reverend Lydia?
Well, what I think is that if you go to all the trouble of explaining, of taking your time to be good to that person, and they decide to move away from your life, well, it's a good thing for you. That means you did not need that person. That means that person was too much for you. That means that person was just there to take. Some people cannot give, they can only take. So you're a person that gives a lot. So you have to respect the fact that you give a lot, and you have to stay away from people that ask too much, because you sometimes have difficulty in saying no. So you have to understand your limits, and you have to understand that to respect yourself, you have to stay away from those people that are too pushy. That is the way I see it, Caroline, because you are kind.
Reverend Lydia, I'm so in agreement with you, and I have lost friendships because of saying no, because I can't talk about this or I can't talk about that. And it's been very upsetting. And at the same time, that's a boundary. And if I can't talk about something that's exciting for me, even though it's a work-based situation, in terms of my career or changes that are exciting, I just think, well, has that lifespan of that friendship gone? Because if a friendship can't be there to support you in your changes and your growth, then maybe that friendship has done its time. And, I feel the benefits of saying no are tremendous. It opens up doors. When you say no to one person, it opens up another door somewhere else. And I would say, because we are right at the end of our time, I can't believe how fast the show has gone. I would like to leave the audience with a couple of quick fire things in terms of how to safely say no. And one of the things that I would quickly like to share is to say no, try it and explore it in low risk situations by saying no to extra emails, for instance, or saying no to optional events, or saying no to things that won't create a challenge with the other person, that you're just saying no to very small, low risk things, and that will start to set your boundaries. Have you got some quick fire things that you wish to share, Reverend Lydia, for our audience just before we go?
We have to say no lovingly. That is the way we say no. We do not say no. We say no lovingly. And most of the time, we do not need to give an explanation, because going into an explanation is too much. That is all. We have our own reasons. And all we have to say is, I have my own reasons.
I love it. I love it, Reverend Lydia. And in conclusion, saying no doesn't mean you're being unkind. It means you're being clear. Choosing yourself is not a rejection. It is where acceptance of your worth. You have discovered your worth. Learn to say no with such confidence and compassion as our wonderful Reverend Lydia has just shared. Opens the door to more authentic relationships and healthier boundaries. A life aligned with what truly matters to us. Thank you for choosing yourself, the empowering act of saying no. Please, Reverend Lydia, share how our viewers can contact you and how best to contact you.
They can contact me at 1-514-582-6882 on WhatsApp. They can send me a text also at that number. They can write to me at greatdivinemother@gmail.com. They can buy my books also on Amazon, 111 Reflections for Thy Earth Odyssey, tomes 1 and 2. And for those that cannot say no, I would suggest you try to join me and learn to say no lovingly, because I am good at it. I am very good at it. So the thing is that I can teach them to say no. I have been doing that for 40 years. I am an energy healer, and I know for one thing that I can help them. I can help them feel happy with saying no and reflect on their lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. And for myself, you can reach me on No More Stress at live.co.uk, or call if you're international. I have WhatsApp. It's +44 if you are local, 07523 120 189. This is just the opening of the conversation here. There are many, many other things that you will suffer with by saying yes to everything. And so, just as the wonderful Reverend Lydia has mentioned, I also offer sessions one-to-one and talks, whether they be in person or online. And you can follow me on LinkedIn and follow me on Facebook and connect with me, drop me a message. I take bookings online and face-to-face. Please do download our app, USA Global TV and Radio, and be part of the global family, bringing hope, education, inspiration through storytelling. It's available on Amazon Fire, Roku, Android, Apple TV, TikTok, X, and many more. Thank you for joining us. We've had a blast. We have so much fun in exploring what we have already solved. And remember, it's not about having to say yes every time. Thank you for joining us, whether you're on the live or the replay. Thank you very much to all of our friends at E360 TV. We look forward to seeing you at the same time next week. That's Monday, 7 p.m. British Summer Time, which is 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And now over to our sponsors. Thank you very much. And a wonderful, hearty thanks to our wonderful full-time panelist, Reverend Lydia Fougeres, for the incredible and insightful shares. We've had a very honest and authentic conversation tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you very much to our wonderful Dr. Jacqueline for all the whizzy effects behind the scenes and the interaction on the chat. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye for now.
Get ready to wear the brand that's changing the world of media. Introducing the official USA Global TV and Radio online store. From our TV show hosts to our incredible global guests, you asked, we delivered. Rep your appearance with pride. Whether you've been on air, hosted a show, or tuned in, we have something just for you. Visit us at usaglobaltvradioshoп.myspreadshop.com and start shopping today. Check back frequently. We're dropping fresh new designs all the time. Showcase your role in our global community. These designs celebrate your voice, your story, your presence. It's more than just merchandise. It's a movement of hope, inspiration, education, and elevated listening. Head to usaglobaltvradioshoп.myspreadshop.com. Your spotlight awaits. USA Global TV and Radio. Elevate your style. Elevate the world.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USAGlobalTV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dyes. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.